I remember Lillian called me and said, like, Grayson, I have this idea. And when you ask her to date, she thought the idea would be like 1 or 2 months done.
And she's a very good dreamer. I can say that's exactly what she's envisioning. So then that goes us thinking like, oh, I think we've understood the product right here.
They don't do the assignment so well. And in our line of work, we come across so much of that. They just have an idea, like it's a light bulb there. I have an idea, I need an application like Uber. And to fetch on my memory the best way I can from the experience with what I've gone through my life. It's actually difficult now thinking about it on solution that it's not built for me. The shortcut that you try to take into building a solution becomes a very long cut. What are the chances if I don't do this ideation discovery thing for my solution to survive?
I would say negative.
Nelson, welcome to the show. This is BeAgile. My name is Grayson Julius. I have a background in software engineering. I'm a founding partner of IPF Academy and IPF Softwares, and I'll be hosting BeAgile with my colleague
Nelson Malekela, who is actually a software engineer and a very enthusiastic Agile practitioner. So right now I'm focusing on business analysis most, which is the area that really makes me, give me an opportunity to practice Agile.
Why BeAgile and why now?
Yeah, I think as I said, it's a long overdue and it's procrastination basically. We really wanted to deliver this for a long time, and I think the aim still stands that we need to have a platform to share experiences. Over time, over years, it's more than 8 years now. We've worked with multiple product owners, multiple businesses in building products. And how exactly do we build a platform to share experiences? Not just from us, but product owners themselves. So that's why we have it now.
Yeah. So to add on to that, it is a platform, and as much as the title says BeAgile, with this platform in this show, we'll be mostly talking about product building. How can you be able to build a product from start, from getting your MVP ready to scaling, challenges that innovators are facing in building their teams, in building their products, in satisfying and building product that would get impact to the community. So Agile methodology is just one of methodologies that we use, but not necessarily being Agile. It could be a mix of waterfall and Agile, it could be waterfall. But what matters is how can we be able to build digital solution that will be able to drive impact to the community and society. So that is the major reason, and this is a platform for everyone coming in. You're being an innovator, startup, entrepreneur, a think tank, a leader in an organization. Is a platform for them to learn how can we be able to build impactful digital solution for the country. BeAgile is brought to you by IPF Academy and IPF Softwares, and with IPF Academy, we are aiming to empower African tech talents and entrepreneurs to build impactful digital solutions. Let's get into the topic of today. What we'll be sharing today, Nelson?
So it's naturally, because we're talking mostly about product development, so it's natural for us to start with the first step, which is ideation and discovery. And I think no matter how you shaped your product, no matter how you build your product, this is the step that naturally comes into mind, naturally comes into the mix of things. Because if you think of it, you first of all need to understand the product itself, you need to align, and you need to probably make sure that you define the values that you deliver or you're planning to deliver through that product. So our topic today is ideation and discovery as the first step of product development.
So you say if you get to skip that step of ideation and discovery, end of the day, you get challenges with your product or something. Like we have seen examples, and that's what we need to share today. Just by definition, in high level, ideation and discovery, this combination of two words are powerful enough. It's like having a session to ideate and to discover your user needs and how can you be able to deliver value based on their needs. And there are a number of frameworks out there that enable this process to get along. to be done. And we are going to discuss one of the frameworks and actually use some relevant case studies that we have seen based on our experience at IPF Softwares. So ideation and discovery is very important. And for me, I want to look back into some of the solutions that we started at IPF Softwares without awareness of ideation and discovery.
And maybe before you step into that, sorry to interrupt, but I think ideation and discovery is done either way. Everybody is doing ideation and discovery. So probably what we are going to focus on is how to do it right? Because at the end of the day, if you get into yourself into a room and start to define what you're going to do with your product, what values are you going to deliver, it's already ideation and discovery. But are we doing it right? So I think that's more of it, because naturally we'll definitely we'll not definitely ideate and discover.
To any point, at any point of innovation, you do ideation and discovery.
It's naturally. It's a natural step, but I think it's all about how we're doing it right, and probably we've done it wrong ourselves, and we have products, as like you said, we have areas that we've done it well, so probably we have a passion.
Sure. So I needed to share about the solution that we built a while ago when we were all starting this, and we were in the university. And I think as many innovators and entrepreneurs at our time, and actually some people are still doing that, we fell into a problem of building solution for ourselves. One of the solutions that I like to share most, as it failed, but it failed and taught us a very great lesson. African fashion. You remember we started African fashion back at uni. We were on somewhat our third year, and we thought building a solution for African fashion, people who are loving fashion would be nice, but we did not talk to a single person about that. And
like the customer audience.
As customer audience, no one. So we went with our assumption they'll need this. Of course, we checked up on some inspiration of what's existing back then. So it was a lesson for us to how can we be able to build that. And we took about 2 years on and off building the solution. We're still studying, but when we got out, I remember exactly this moment at Mooney, and we were like all going into like business model canvas and going to check on like different methodologies on building a product and everything. And we were paired with the hub manager of that time, Mr. Jumandam Tambalika. And like, okay, you guys show me your solution. What is your solution? So like trying to pitch and being very like trying to impress. Like we have an African solution. You have the pitch deck with the phone and like okay, Grayson and Tim. So have you actually spoken to any fashion designers in the country? Say, no, spoke to our sister.
We'll probably lie.
I'm not going to confess that on camera, but it was like, we spoke to our sister, and my mother is a fundi, and so I know the issue that my mother is going through and stuff. Like, okay. So Yumanda said like, so you guys, I'm going to give you an assignment. Go to talk to 5 fashionista around town, and he gave one contact. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. Adam Foyer. Adam Foyer, if out there. Adam Foyer does this nice adds a touch of African beat on a clothing. I think we just spoke to him, and we had a list lined up, but we did not have bus fare to go to do all this entire research, honestly. And it was even, by that time, it wasn't even making sense on, like, what are the right questions to ask? What questions are we asking to these individuals?
We didn't have any framework.
There was no any framework. It was like, go and ask these people, what do they need? And it was a little bit difficult to engage. And I think it was too early in terms of technology adoption and everything. So even themselves just grasping the concept of having an app to share their African content and African design product did not make sense as much. But most important is we ourselves, we did not know much what value are we delivering. We did not nail that down. And we did the solution, remember, with our good friend Ilakoze Human, and Ilakoze had a very great product. We're going to talk about it someday because as well did not perform very well afterwards. Just reflecting on that, on the mistakes we did and the failures that we've gone through and challenges. If we go back in time, we could do it better with the framework and having a proper way, which we're going to discuss more into that. Are there any success that you could remember with the product that you worked on yourself or managed or anyhow?
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of luck because again we had as you say we had African fashion that failed, and then we had probably one more product that also we didn't execute very well, but it was better than that. But then when we started to work with our clients now, and I remember back then it was Niajiri. I think we were
Niajiri platform.
Yeah, Niajiri platform, which is an employability platform, and I think we were better. We have already learned our lessons in a very hard way. And then when we met Niajiri, we got a bit of luck because the business owner also has a mindset about taking time when ideating, and the fact that they were facing challenges when they were doing things manually. So in a way, already some things got collected together or put together for us to have a good session of ideation and discovery. So it wasn't perfect. I would insist on that. It wasn't perfect yet back then, but I think it was way, way better. I think we focused on the right things to talk about. And I think right now, even if we try to fit what we did back then into the framework we are using right now, which Grayson, I would like you to introduce it. I know there's no one solution for that fits all, but I think at least we can talk about experience of the framework we're talking. So if we try to fit what we did with Niajiri without that framework we're using right now, I think you can find out that we actually did some things right, even without that framework. But I think we could have done better if we had a very specific framework that we're using right now. And I think it's important for us to share experience with the framework we're using. Maybe we can enlighten it.
Yeah. So before we go to that, like I just want you to recall the setup that we had back then. I remember Lillian called me and said, like, Grayson, I have this idea. And when you ask her to date, she thought the idea would be like 1 or 2 months done. And before going in the ideation room and the result came out of that, Lillian and her team love so much stick notes, and there are some pictures I remember on the setup of that meeting. Now, if you can just share like how was it coming down, because you did not know anything about the platform by that time, and you spent about 8 hours. It was almost a full day on ideation and just trying it was a setup of joint application design session, if I recall very well. Now I just need you to recall that moment and the back and forth you had with the team.
Yeah, so I think Lillian still has got those pictures. And I do remember it was myself and Jackson from IPF Software that visited Niajiri offices. It was our first visit to Niajiri offices. Back then it was the office at IKEA, and when we get into the room, it was this medium-sized room office, and you see in all walls, 4 walls, there are just a lot of stick notes and flip charts. So it's like, okay, what is this exactly? But I think that's exactly why I say we got lucky, because the product owner already did a lot of groundwork.
She did an assignment.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when we went there, it was like, so you're getting to understand the client, or probably you have not have engagement, probably a lot of engagement with the client. So you're getting there, you're getting to understand the client. So having things put together like she did, minimize the pressure of getting to understand the client and the product at the same time, right? So when we went there, we had this nice little chat about, because she had it in the back of her mind what exactly she wants to deliver. So we had a nice little chat about her dream, and she's a very good dreamer, I can say that. Yeah. So we had a nice little chat about that, and she started walking us through so those flip charts and sticky notes and exactly what she's envisioning. So then that got us thinking like, oh, I think we've understood the product right here, just through that those sticky notes. because she captured the expectation from clients and all that. So I think, yeah, that helps us a little bit. And I think after that, we spend, like you said, 8 hours, which I think in today's world, probably 8 hours are not enough to even do ideation and discovery. It's supposed to be like a week or so to actually realize it. But I think back then, 8 hours helped us a lot. It was intense hours, some coffee breaks, but yeah. After that, we came back to our offices, and now starting to because we have visuals in terms of those signals and all that. So I think when we got back to the office and start briefing with engineering team and all that, it was a bit easier. Yeah, so I think so.
Yeah, most of innovators and builders right now, they don't do their assignments so well, and in our line of work, we come across so much of that. They just have an idea, like it's a light bulb there. I have an idea. I need an application like Uber. I'm using that as a metaphor because many people come with a reference. I need something like Netflix. I need a solution that has inspired them. Like I need a bold solution, something like that. And like, okay, what are you going to do different from this solution that they're having? No, it is a great idea. These guys are making money out of this solution, and I understand the market. I want it. I want the solution. And when do you want the solution? Say like, I need it tomorrow. I need it in 1 month. I need to go live. Like I have already spoken with Boda guys, the delivery guys. I need the solution like in 1 month. Okay, so show me the requirements. That's what we go through. Show me the requirement. Have you ideated on this already? Have you documented your idea? And I think for me that is where we part of it in BeAgile, educating these innovators and builders. It is important to get your documentation right. Now, it's either you do what Lillian did with the stick notes all over the place, and like I have pieces of information all over the place, but doing an assignment by itself, doing a proper research on what if you're building a solution, what do your user need in your solution? And documenting is very important. I was sitting in a room with African fashion and dreaming without talking to anyone. So you actually need to talk to these individuals and being able to ask questions and being able to identify. So most of the time I advise when someone comes to me like that, and ask them, what pains are you trying to solve? What pain are you trying to solve? And they'll say like, there was this one guy, I remember today, he hanged up on me, and it was not very much an awesome call. So this is a real life scenario. The guy called me, and I don't recall his name. He says, hi, is this IPF software? It's like, yes, I need to talk to a business development team who can help me with my solutions. Like, okay, you're speaking to one. I'm listening. And his idea was about creating a menstrual period tracker application for young ladies. And so like, okay, that is an interesting idea, but I've seen a couple of those solutions. What are you trying to disrupt in that space? What are you doing it differently? And he said like, no, I'm a good marketer, so I'm just going to build it and I'm going to market it. So I was like, yes, sir, I understand. And it's good. But what difference are you trying to offer out of these solutions? I have number of menstrual period tracker solutions I know. So I mentioned a couple of them. Like there's Flow, there's this tracker, there's whatever. And like, do you know any of this? Like, yeah, I know one of them. And okay, so let's stick with that. What difference are you offering with this? That guy got frustrated. Like, why are you asking me that? I just need you to build the solution and just build the solution. Why are you asking me that? It's like, I'm asking you so that when we build your solution, you get to deliver the value, the impact that you get to intend. Just saying that you'll be good in marketing and you market differently, it makes me ask you more questions. The guy got mad and hanged up on me. And this is for every other innovators out there.
And I think that's interesting because some might think that we are discouraging actually people building products when there is something in the market. No, that's not what.
Yeah, no,
Because
point.
at the end of the day, for example, a solution like that one, somebody might just say that the audience don't understand the flow because it's in English, probably in French. They want to create something for people who can understand that. Like to educate the audience, maybe I want to make sure that it is in Swahili. And so that to educate audience, so to make sure that the audience actually can access and understand it better. It's just like you have to understand the audience who you're building for and how exactly are you going to make sure that you are delivering value to them. That because if they can access the flow, why should they decide to go that way and pick your product? It's like we have WhatsApp now, and Telegram maybe came later. Telegram said, we are more secure or something like that, and it's like, oh, great. That's exactly how you can probably try to compete in the market. But without understanding your audience, you're not offering anything different. How exactly are you going to take a fair market share? I think it's difficult.
So there is this structure we use at IPF Softwares, and it's just one of the many solutions that framework that we use. And one that is our favorite, it's my personal favorite. It is value proposition canvas. So time to time we use value proposition canvas to help us ask right questions to the innovators and builders out there. But it is a free tool. You can do it with your team.
That was very important. It's a free tool.
It is a free tool. It is a free tool. For the matter of fact, for those who are on YouTube, we are going to link down to add a link in the description to just download it, print it as a PDF in PDF format, print it and use it. Ideate on it. You can use a digital copy of it, and we want to talk about that framework and how can that help you ideate better on your solution. So the value proposition canvas is broken into two major parts. There's the customer profile and there's the value segment. Now the customer profile, I'm going to dive more onto that, and this is just touching a surface of ideation and discovery. There's so much more into it. So with the value, with the profile part, there are major elements. Once you've identified your customer, and you could have 2 or 3 customers, but one value proposition cover for one customer. You have another customer, you do another value proposition cover. So don't mix it up so that it becomes easier. So on the customer profile, there are 2 segments you see. There's a pains, there's gains that people are going through, and there is a job segment. Now the job segment is to identify areas that jobs or activity that your customer is doing to accomplish something.
Is they trying to accomplish something?
What are they trying to accomplish?
Okay,
So that is the job. Like what activities are they doing?
Yes.
Now there is a pain, and I want to talk more on the pain area, because the pain is the thing that your customer is struggling with
when they're trying to accomplish
their job. All right. So I'll try to do my best to fetch a good example here. So let's say you have let's talk about that guy who came up with a menstrual period tracker solution. And I'll do let's try to ideate this on top of my head. The young ladies who on their days, what they will try to do is they'll need to know up forward so that they get ready. And you see what I'm doing here, I'm trying to fetch on my memory the best way I can from the experience with what I've gone through my life. But it's actually difficult now thinking about it on solution that it's not built for me. If we had to ask a young lady about that, like what jobs do you do toward that period? What activities do you do? What pains and suffering are you going to do? I am not in no shoes to be able to imagine enough of that. So it is important to talk to your targeted customer to just frame the pain that they're going through.
And maybe we can talk about the value proposition canvas itself as a solution to one of the issues you have. Right? So maybe we can start to create a pain, to identify a pain that as a business, as a product builder, or as a software development company, what you're trying to do is actually build a digital product probably. And the first thing you need to understand is a very streamlined, right, values that we are going to provide to the customers, right? So that's what probably is the pain. That was the job you're trying to accomplish. Get a very streamlined set of requirements or values that we're providing to customers, right? And then maybe you can
see what you're doing there.
Yeah, we can say the pain is that you most of the time you have inconsistencies, right? Somebody may have the requirements that doesn't define user well. Sometimes you have requirements that doesn't define the pains well, right? That sometimes you have requirements that do not define how do you create gains. So probably that's the pain you're suffering. And maybe you can talk again about that. I think that's more relevant.
It is indeed relevant. I thank you, Nelson, for that. So there are many scenarios one could come up with an idea, and the good thing about value proposition Canva, you can search for examples on how people have done an ideation on Uber, and like you can just get an example that will be easier for that. So in identifying the pain, where I left off was, for me, it was difficult as well to imagine about a young lady going through the process
like that.
But if I discuss on the pain that I'm going through myself, it will be easier. So yet it's not enough if I discuss on the problem on the hassle that I'm talking myself. I need to involve 1 or 2, 3 people to be able to add up on my ideation process. So once we've identified your pain points, and pain point could be, as Nelson mentioned, an example there, and what gains am I looking for? Now, once I've identified my gains and structure that together, you complete your customer profile, and either use Signals or you use Google Doc or whatsoever, but have them well documented, the pain, the gains, and the job this individual customized individual target audience you're building a solution for. Next to that is the value proposition that you're going to add on to your customer identified.
So basically the value proposition, as you said, you have already profiled the customer. Now it's about mapping the values. And in mapping the values, you are literally, at the first segment, we define the pains, right? The customer goes through when trying to accomplish their jobs. On the value proposition part is you define now what are the pain relievers, right? So I'll take an example again from, I'll try to match the pain and pain relievers. And I see I'm struggling because of the examples, but let me use Niajiri examples here also, because one of the pains, one of the jobs that customers were trying to accomplish in Niajiri was actually recruiting. Back then, at the first probably version of Niajiri, it was all about corporates trying to recruit. And the pains they are suffering is that they have thousands of CVs submitted manually, and they have to go one by one. So eventually you are going to lose on the good talents because you probably just pick 10, 20 CV and it's like, no, you're tired, right? So it means from there you have a pain already. Now the pain reliever will look something like, how exactly do we relieve that pain? Now the pain reliever in this case, I would say, is a platform that actually shorten the time, right? Shorten the hassle of going through a CV one by one. Right? So setting up a lot of filters based on the criteria that an employer wants. Right? And then if we want to match the other segment, it's all about the gain creators, right? The gains that the customer expects, and the gain creators now in the second segment of the value proposition covers. So in this example, says the gain that customer will experience is probably a shortened time, and also the cost will be massively reduced because time most of the time equals to more time, more cost. So now that's the gains they will have. So what is the gain creator? What is the gain creator is probably creating an applicant tracking system that will do all that in a short period of time. So it's all about streamlining the process itself in such a way that you don't need to go through thousands CV manually, right? And then at the end of the day, for you to create that, to release the pain and to create the gains, you need to state exactly what are the products and services. So products and services may come in from digital solutions. Sometimes they're not even digital solutions. Sometimes they might be digital solutions, but not comes in a web platform or mobile application. Can be just an Excel sheet. So in this case, for example, a digital solution, which I mentioned in even the prior example, is actually the applicant tracking system. That was the solution that actually creates the gain and solves the pain that the customer was experiencing. So that's is the second part now of the value proposition canvas, which is the value map. Again, I'll summarize it. What you do is define what are the relievers of that pain, the pain customers were getting when they're trying to accomplish their jobs. And then you need to create what are the gain creators, because customers gain something. How do we create those gains? That's the second part of it. And the third one, you define values, you define products and services that helps you create those gains and relieve those pains. So that's the second part of a value proposition.
Awesome.
Canvas, yeah.
Nice. So they think like, we are wasting time here in between, and they want to take a shortcut, and a shortcut into running into building a solution. But what you realize later is the shortcut that you try to take into building a solution becomes a very long cut in no time, because you've escaped some important steps here. And not to be mistaken, ideation discovery is not done only on the initial stage of starting a solution. Ideation discovery is an agile process by itself. It needs to be integrated at every stage of your solution. What you get out of ideation discovery and knowing like, we are there, you get that light bulb of like, oh, I figured out this problem. You have your list of pain points for your customer. You have a list of solution services. It will help you to know what are you starting with to build your solution. Because prioritization, it will help you with prioritization, because you will not build a whole solution at once. You need to take a chunk, a bit to start building a solution. And just by identifying the pains, you'll be able to gauge them. Either use number methodology, group them, whatever you can, but you'll be able to identify what are the most severe pains and what are the not so much severe pains. Which one can wait? Which one should be solved now? What are the needs? What are the wants? That entire process helps you to be able to package your solution better. So you by the time you finish, you've answered all stakeholders' questions, and you get a feeling like, I've solved the problems before even investing the solution. What do you think should be invested, like in terms of time and money? Like, should we jump into building in terms of like, Grayson, if you can share that perspective?
I think absolutely not. As I said, shortcut can turn it to be a very long cut. And in this case, I think, because when we're talking about time, the more time you invest, it to realize value or to create a value that actually will hook your users into the solution. So the shorter time you take to reach that level is actually cost. You said the cost, right? You take it a long time to reach that level, actually the cost is going to be is obviously going to be more. So now when we're talking about how long or what type of investment should you put into it, I think until you get it right. If it will take you 100 of hours, use 100 of hours. Because at the end of the day, that doesn't just create a clarity in terms of the solutions and the validation in terms of the values you're trying to offer, but it's also about the alignment of the team. When you're building a product, most of the time it's a long-term journey. And in a long-term journey, it's very easy to actually just like taking a detour that is not really planned. So removing those deviations that are not planned, you actually need to have somewhere that you can refer the truth, that this is exactly what we're trying to offer. That creates an alignment among the whole team. It's not just the business side. It's not just about the engineering side, because at that point you're all in one team, and you need to have a point of reference all the time that what exactly are you trying to achieve? What exactly are we trying to solve here? You need to have one point of a look about say. So I think at the end of the day, if you say like, let's rush this, and then let's spend like let's rush this and start building, as you said, it's going to cost you definitely, because you will reach somewhere and start to realize that no, users are not really buying into this. And if they're not buying into this, it means we have created a product that doesn't work. So again, you are starting again, and then that's going to cost you definitely. So it's very, very obvious. It's painful obvious.
It is a painful process, because now you say about 100 hours and whatsoever, and as we are wrapping this introduction to value proposition canvas, ideation and discovery. I believe we have the innovators out there, they've gotten somewhere to start with in ideation discovery, and there's so much going into this, and we've planned to do actually 3 episodes just on ideation discovery, so that we can be able to dive deep into this. Now, this is just a surface, touch the surface of ideation discovery. Now, moving forward, we as we wrap up this session, we have a Q&A segment where for whoever is selling in whatever platform, be it on any favorite podcast platform that you are in, and YouTube, which is main distribution for this channel, you will leave comments below to and our team will be able to collect those questions. And in every episode we release for BeAgile, we'll be able to share and respond, do our best to respond any questions. So any challenge that you're going through, if you're a startup, entrepreneur, innovator in digital solution building, anything that is relating to that, please just share and drop that comment and down below in anywhere, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Just write down the questions and we'll be able to pick them up and respond to your question. Now,
I think we also, as you said before, that this is a platform to share.
Yeah.
I think there's no one solution that fits. Also, probably our audience can probably also state what methodologies are they using.
Definitely.
What frameworks are you using, so that we can all learn together.
Definitely. So if we shared about value proposition cover, if you have any other methodology, feel free to comment about that and be able to share. Now, we don't have questions. This is the first episode. We have not received any questions. Now, I want to do something here, Nelson. Now, I know this was not part even of the plan. So I want to do some sort of a role play, okay? Because you are a business analyst. I'm a stubborn client here.
Okay. You're stubborn.
I want you to tell me why should I go into the process of doing ideation and discovery? Because for me, I think it's costful. You're just finding another way to charge me.
Yeah, I think what actually ideation and discovery will help you is to remove that cost element you're talking about, or to reduce that cost element you're talking about. You feel it's costful now, but I can guarantee you that you don't do it, the cost will become 10 times. At the end of the day, it's about how long will we take to create value that customers will appreciate. So if you think you know the values that customer will appreciate in this,
I know my app. You
know your app, but if you're talking to your audience, do you know exactly what they need?
I've spoken to them, yes, a couple of them. Like I chat to them every time. You know how long have I thought about this solution? 5 years. 5 years.
And that's what the problem is. We're not talking about what you thought about it.
Yeah.
We're talking about how many customers have you spoken about? What guideline did you use to actually frame your questions and responses?
No, I don't need a guideline. I know my solution. And if I don't do it today, if I don't launch next month, a competitor is going to launch a solution like that. And I'm going to lose the opportunity to be first in the market.
Competition is always going to be there. You can't really remove competition. And I think ideation and discovery is going to make sure that you know your product so well, as you call it your product. We are going to make sure that you know that so well that any other competition comes in, you're still going to beat them up. So that's what it can guarantee you. Because again, as you think that you can go through without really spending much of the time to ideate, what will happen is the fact that most of your competitors probably are going through the same thing. If they choose to do the right ideation and discovery, they will definitely beat you, because they will know their product very well. They will know their audience and their pains and their gains. You, my friend, have it in your mind, and you have your own solution, your own perspective about everything. And remember, this is not about you at all. The solution is about your audience. You need to focus on them, understanding them so well, so that in creative value that you are sure that they'll be with them.
So what are the chances if I don't do this ideation discovery thing for my solution to survive? What are the chances?
I would say negative. Zero is zero is a bit of zero is exciting in this case. And you're talking about somebody who does those mistakes a lot. And the difference is night and day. So yeah, I think that you have a negative chance.
We could have survived with BeAgile.
Actually, that's a very good example.
With African fashion every day.
With the African fashion, and even the Shara Plus. Remember that the Shara Plus, the first version of the Shara Plus didn't do so well.
Yeah.
But only that after we acknowledge that we are not focusing on the users, we restarted this, and actually that's a point you raised. It's a point where you start, ideation and discovery can be applied at different stages of the solution. It's always about creating alignment and making sure that you understand your users even better. There is no right time to understand your users. You can always try to understand and improve understanding of your users. Probably sometimes you want to pivot your idea. You need to refine again your understanding of the users. So with solution like African fashion, we felt that the Ashara process we didn't start so well, but we picked up later after understanding our audience.
So what you say is, I can start with my solution, and I can later do ideation and discovery to do better, because
exactly.
That's what you told
me. You can start your solution. You can fail.
So let's start.
You can start a solution. You hear me?
I need my solution.
You're going to start your solution. You're going to fail. I'm not saying you can fail. I'm telling you that you're going to start a solution. You're going to fail, and then you're going to regret because you have already invested a lot, and then now you're going to start it in the right way. So what I'm telling you is, let's remove that part when it started wrong. Let's make sure that we start it well.
All right, let me know on comments below, what do you think on Nelson's argument, if he has convinced me enough as a stubborn client. But that's it for today on this episode. Stay tuned for more to come. We've said we're going to release 3 episodes on ideation and discovery, and in the following sessions we're going to dive deep into actually going a process of documenting and doing an ideation. We can pick up a solution, I believe, that we can be able to ideate and try to identify those pains so that you can learn more using proper examples. If you found these valuable, please comment below. Let us know, what do you think on ideation and discovery? Is it important? Is it not? Is it delaying time to market? And stay tuned with BeAgile. Do all the YouTube things, like subscribe, like, share, and like invite friends. Anyone who you think can gain value out of this, very much welcome. And that's it for today. This is your host, Grayson Julius.
And Nelson Malekela. Until next time.
Cheers.